It is shipping time. We can talk later. There's credits to earn. So the basic idea with this strategy is that I am trying to maximize credits. I'm not too concerned about hydrogen. I'm sure there's more hydro-efficient strategies out there. But really what I want to do is to deliver every single credit with the shipping drone, because that will stack all of my shipping bonuses. So in order to do this, I'll zoom out and show the system. But what I'm trying to do is to get everything on lane, every last shipment on lane, and that means that I'll be moving my lanes as I deliver in order to make sure that every single shipment is on lane so that every single shipment is delivered by the drone. And that's the basic strat here. Again, what uses the least hydrogen might be different for you in your system. If you are concerned with hydrogen, then do some low-level relay deliveries first, especially to clear up space. That'll help out with sorting. I am doing shipments every 12 hours. It is a little bit more hydro efficient to do them only once a day, every 24 hours, because it saves on some warp lane costs, but sorting is also much harder when everything is full as opposed to half full, and I've just found that for my sanity that it's easier for me to do them every 12. So my opening process here, you've already seen me working on this, is just getting all of my on-lane planets empty and getting as many shipments as possible onto the trade stations. So if you haven't looked at how shipments are different in Dark Nebula, the trade stations are your largest capacity destinations by quite a lot if you have them maxed out. And that means that your trade stations make for optimal sorting hubs as well as delivery hubs, just because you can fit as much stuff on there. So you're going to have the best chances of getting full drone loads coming off of those trade stations that are packed full, carrying lots and lots of shipments. I have my planets sorted into 3 zones. I'll zoom out here for a second so you can see trade station, trade station, trade station, and each one of those is linked to its planets that shipments will be going to. So this is a spoke and hub kind of model. I'm almost done getting on lanes from my zone 1 and zone 3 planets. Very exciting. I will deal with off lanes later. I want to start out just by making some space. And that means that I want to get my on-lane planets empty so that I can fire off a couple shipping drones and not have them going rogue and flying all over the system, wasting time and hydrogen. Because, they'll grab that one shipment to that one destination from some on-lane planet to some other on-lane planet halfway across the system. That's not really helping anyone. All right, we're just about there. Another really nice quality of life feature in Dark Nebula that you may have already seen me using a few times is this button right here, that one on the left. So that is going to grab all shipments from the current destination that are going to destinations you're already carrying shipments for on that transport. So in this case here, I have one shipment going to Baron, I touch down button, and now all shipments going to Baron have just been moved down to this TS. So that's a super nice time saver. All right, how are things going here? I have some space. I'll grab you from on lane. I will grab you from on lane. And then at that point, all of my on lane planets will be empty. If I were really concerned about saving hydro, then at this point I would do a little bit more sorting before firing off some drones, but I am more concerned with time and sanity, and so I'm going to do just a little bit of sorting on this third hub just to try to not be too wasteful, and then at that point I'm going to fire a couple of drones and just clear off a little space, which will make everything else faster and easier. There we go, there's my zone 3 guys. Alright, that's good enough. Drone for you. Drone for you. Oops, forgot to actually pick those up. Great. Okay, we're gonna let those drones do their thing for a minute. And as always, I'm just going to keep stuffing the trade stations as deliveries go out, at least as much as I can. This is one of those things that is definitely a little faster, nicer, easier on PC as opposed to mobile, but what can I say? This is my life. Alright, things are looking pretty okay down here. It looks like all the drones have wandered south, but that means that I have lots of room on this trade station, so I'll go ahead and grab some off lanes there, especially since those transports are empty as well, and just make good use of that space. One of the themes that's different with Dark Nebula in general, I feel, in this update, is that you really benefit from having as many processes going in parallel at the same time. Like in Red Stars, if you can fly your battleships separately and have them clearing sectors individually, it's good. And when you're shipping, if you can have multiple transports, multiple drones doing their thing at the same time, then that's good. And that just seems to be part of the design. So good for developing your working memory, I suppose. Trying to just keep track of everything that's happening and to juggle efficiently between. All right. So I've made some space. I suppose at this time I'm just going to be pushing things around for another minute or two. So I'll talk about what is different in terms of credit bonuses in Dark Nebula and why I'm so focused on making all of my deliveries be drone deliveries. So here's the deal. In Dark Nebula, your shipping drone not only applies a drone bonus from its own module level, but it also applies the shipment computer bonus and the trade burst bonus all at the same time. So it's giving you all three of your trade bonuses simultaneously as long as you deliver a shipment with that drone. So that's very powerful because then you're getting the stacking bonuses from all of those modules. If you have a completely maxed out shipment relay, then at any given credit cap, you can generally equal your drone bonus with your shipment relay, but it's going to cost significantly more hydrogen than delivering manually. And this is where a lot of players are getting stuck, is that they want to relay everything, which is fine, and they want to earn lots of credits, which is definitely fine. But by maxing out their relay on all of their shipments, they're using a ton of hydrogen and finding themselves with not enough fuel to play the game, really. And this method of doing everything manually is what allows you to max out your credits, but at an affordable hydrogen cost if getting credits is your primary concern. All right, cool. So I have that south trade station pretty much cleared out. I have those guys empty, so I can use them for managing other things. I don't know if this is actually going faster than normal or if it's just time flies because I'm busy keeping up my extremely entertaining shipping chatter while I'm pushing buttons. Either way, I'm happy to have you here with me. I'm having fun doing this for an audience. So that load all button is so helpful. It makes things so much better. I cannot encourage people enough to make use of some of the little UI changes that have really just been really nice quality of life features in Dark Nebula. All right, things are good enough down here that I'm going to pop off another drone. Got all my zone 1 shipments. Oh yeah, so you can see all my planets are named according to their zone number. That just helps with sorting. It lets me sort them faster because I can scroll through the list alphabetically and have them all sorted by the zone destination that they're going to. Load you up. How are we doing? Good over here. I need to make room over here. Boop. If you're used to shipping in Hades Star and you're like, why have you hit drone so many times? What are you doing? So first thing to notice is that the drone cost per drone is quite a bit lower. You can see it's 2,000 hydrogen here at level 12. And drones consume fuel as they fly. This is the biggest difference really, is that you're paying the activation cost, filling the fuel tank for that drone, and then as it flies around, it uses up the fuel in its tank until it runs out, and then it disappears. This is why sorting is important in Dark Nebula. It's a different mechanic from Hades Star. In the old version, you had to have that drone as full as possible so that you would get as many credits as possible, because the drone bonus applied was a function of the number of shipments carried by the drone. And that is different now. Instead, the drone always applies its maximum bonus to anything it's carrying. The difference is hydrogen. You need to be efficient with your drone loads. You want them flying full as much as possible, because their hydrogen per distance traveled is the same whether they're carrying 1 shipment or 6, which is the maximum drone size now. But if you just have your drones flying around with 1 and 2 shipments all the time, they're going to consume a crazy amount of hydrogen. And again, you won't have enough fuel to do everything. So basically that's how things are different now, is that you want to sort your shipments and have your drones flying full, not to maximize your credits, but to have it happen in an affordable hydro cost. So while this has been happening, I've just been sorting, stacking. All right, you go to zone 3. Fire off this guy, and what you're about to see here now, I'll zoom out and see where my stations are at. I should be running low on lane shipments at this point, which means that it will be time to deliver off lane shipments. Except, by the power of lane swapping, off lane becomes on lane. And if you're like, now wait just a darn minute here, that's crazy talk. Well, once again, things change. Hooking up a warp lane now is very inexpensive. It costs a flat 400 hydrogen, regardless of distance. So if it's 1 sector or if it's 6 sectors, it costs 400 hydro. And the other thing that's changed is that moving a warp lane hub only costs 50 hydrogen per sector. So instead of having to keep your lanes fixed because of the very high hydrogen cost of moving warp lanes in the old version, now you might actually find that it costs less hydro to move a warp lane and to bring a new destination on lane than it would have cost to just fly a transport there all the way off lane and fly that transport back. So this is something that, depending on your planet layout, you'll have to figure out for you and for your system. hey look, so I no longer have any shipments going to Eblon, so I am going to disconnect you and then move you up here, boop, only 150 hydro, so 550 hydro to move that lane, and it would have cost me about 550 hydro just to fly off lane anyway. So as long as I make more than one trip there, essentially it's cheaper to move the lane than to fly off lane. And that's also maximizing my credits, because as I crank up the number of shipments that I deliver with the drone, I'm increasing the credit bonus that I get, because again, that drone is giving me the drone bonus plus shipment computer bonus plus trade burst bonus. Now, there are some different sorting and delivery mini optimizations that could be done here that would save a little bit of hydrogen. So if you're wanting to deliver your shipments manually to increase your credits, but if you're also a little tight on hydro, then there are definitely ways to refine this method further, but that's going to depend on your module levels, your planet locations, and so there's not really a one-size-fits-all solution for that. Also, because I am delivering every 12 hours instead of every 24, I'm not really concerned with getting every last shipment delivered. I'm just going to leave my planets, or get my planets mostly empty, and then that'll be good enough, because when I come to do my shipments 12 hours from now, a couple planets will just have one or two more than the others, which is no big deal. All right, everybody is on lane at this point. You're just about done delivering. I think we're done. So I'll let that last drone run out, generate a few more credits, maybe fire off one more down south if needed. How's your fuel looking? I might need one more, but no big deal. Anyway, that's how I'm doing shipments right now in Dark Nebula. I'm sure my strategy will evolve over time as I work through this and find little optimizations, but at least I have the assurance that if I am delivering every single shipment with drone, then I am generating the maximum credits that I possibly can. So there you go. I hope you found this useful. If you did, then give me some feedback.